Jakal to grand finals. Here we go.
Yeah, here it is. I mean, talking about an absolute pro. Gonna have to face off against the Con. Welcome to grand finals here at regular Bairs 364. Call sign twitch.tv/bros_calamity. Here we go, Pokemon Stadium for game number 1, and we've seen this before. They went even in the Joker-Rob matchup in winner's final, 2-2 apiece before Jakal was forced into playing Wolf. Now Jakal is going to give the Masked Marauder another shot.
Yeah, the way you used forced is definitely a key to remember that this is not a foregone conclusion, because it went down to the last of every single category you could think of for Jakal to pull out the win and to establish his seat in winner side grand. So Conman, again, just even percentages right before that hit. And again, now with Arsene gone, just confidence going his way to Conman rather, but right now it's actually struggling to get the stock claim here, and Jakal just not letting up, even though he's sitting at 140 and being the lighter of the characters, and he has to control the flow of the gameplay. Otherwise, he's just going to face that down every time. The afterburners are going to be quite the cinch for a lot of stocks going forward.
Folks, settle in. We are about to see Jakal and Conman round 2, and I'm just looking at Bryce. He's so angry.
Yeah, the card up.
I honestly, if it were any colder, I would see the steam coming off him. Like, he's pretty pissed. Either way, 2 stocks apiece. It's 2 minutes in. We're just gonna, yeah, but again, Conman doing pretty well with negotiating this Joker. And it's not like the Joker's playing badly, but Conman is adjusting to this just a little easier than perhaps he would the Wolf.
Yeah, and because he had the stock cushion to play with right now, it was a 3-2 situation before this moment. Again, he's just sitting in the prime position of having Joker without Arsene, and Arsene being the furthest away it possibly can. And now at 120 and gravitating towards the left side of the stage, despite that jab reset from Jakal, they're still playing to the ledges, not letting any errant up smashes take claim.
We saw this last time, though. Yeah. I mean, going down for the hit, I mean, granted, it wasn't the side B this time, but going for the up air, getting the tech, and giving Jakal the stage. How dangerous of a situation could you possibly give yourself? And now you got Arsene out, got Aegons, the side Bs are coming through, and the up tilt is all it takes to take the stock off of you. Granted, you're sitting at 152, but any advantage is good, especially after the hard time this Rob gave you before.
Without a doubt, yeah. And resorting to that defensive nature is why Jakal is, you know, recognizing that Conman has been keeping it toe-to-toe, so maybe I have to incorporate some of that Wolf gameplay into my Joker gameplay in the long form of it. But Conman rather, finding his way to close that gap and force out that stock, and to force this last stock situation on Jakal. Right now, though, down tilts plenty coming in for Conman, evening right things up and blasting past it, giving Conman the advantage, but fed into Arsene a little too much as well. Here he comes, and if he can't get the stock claim relatively quickly, he's going to eat a lot of damage right back in his face.
Gonna get nared. Tossed up into the air yet again. Good parry though by Conman. You got to be ready with the your hand on the trigger at the very least. As Conman on the cusp of taking this, especially as Arsene makes his exit. We have seen those stocks get taken relatively quickly after Arsene has taken his leave. Conman now putting Jakal up into the air, but again, Jakal just willing to take on this nickel and dime damage, and of course, you find yourself with enough nickels and dimes, you will get $1 eventually, but it's Conman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Conman just straight up making Jakal's wallet go missing. That's game number 1.
I mean, making the wallet go missing, if you see the player cam, that sweater is going to go missing in a second. Conman is just...
Oh, my goodness.
much like you were saying, Bryce had steam coming off him. Conman definitely sweating on his potential chance of at least getting a reset round against Jakal. That is huge.
Why does that John look like a 1700s undergarment? Like
it is.
It's got like the sort of frilly shirt going on with it.
It looks weighted, but at the same time, it's like loose and baggy. Like it's sort of that middle ground of like, what is that material like that made the 1700s shirts so non-existent, at least in our mindset here.
Yeah, when you gotta play in a Smash tournament at 7, but sign the Connecticut Compromise at 8.
When the schedule says 7:45, but you're a Minuteman and you have to go at a moment's notice.
Oh my! Do you bring your controller and your musket?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Game number 2 here, and again, both resorting to that defensive nature that both had to resorted to. Jakal had to resort to it because, he was challenging Conman toe-to-toe, and Conman was step by step right with him. So Jakal had to go defensive, and because Jakal went defensive, then so did Conman, but you're falling right into the playstyle that Rob is comfortable with because of the defensive laser and gyro that they can establish. And, I mean, we saw how the last round went against Joshathan. You don't want to give a defensive Rob anything because they can just charge ahead and close out a stock and just swing the round the opposite way. And Jakal right now with Arsene on deck is just going to make the this deficit in stocks climb even further with a deficit in percentage. But Conman cutting that short now and just expending, with down tilt alone, expending Arsene outright. And now it's going to have to resort to the bleed of Aha, not Aegon, in order to have any sort of extra credit, because Conman is just very decisively but assuredly just putting on the damage and closing out that first stock finally against Jakal.
Yeah, trying to employ the sickest Joker tech of dashing forward, dashing backward, and side B. It's kind of like every day on Wi-Fi.
Foxtrot just proves that you're a better player. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm just a god of spacing. Oh, wait a second. Down air.
Speaking of spacing,
looking for the up air as a follow-up. Not going to find it. Now Jakal with Arsene in tow is going to take full advantage. You're not the only one with a gigantic down air, Conman. I've got one of my own. 2 stocks to 1 for the globally ranked player.
And Conman was starting to get in the face of Jakal, and I thought I would have to say vocally that he would have to pull back, but he realized, hopping in the air, just letting Arsene ebb away and finally deplete is definitely the route he wanted to take, because he'll have a lot easier time going up against Joker. But like you said before, Joker and his back air is certainly one to take out stocks pretty unexpectedly. With the spiral of the gun just expending the gas tank, will Conman have enough to get back? Yes, because Jakal went for, I was going to say another up air string. Yeah, Jakal rather went for the tether grab to try to pull Conman down, but all the same, will be able to close out that round for himself and make it 1-1. Very, very close rubber match coming up here. It's going to be very, very, the momentum is going to swing very heavily. Doubly so than we've seen in prior weeks here.
And Conman, what we've been seeing, again, not necessarily hesitant to fight Jakal, but also getting the spots picked out just a little bit too easily by this Joker, hence the 2-stock victory. It was not nearly as close as it was game number 1. Jakal adjusting just a little bit more cleanly. And we're seeing now Jakal more than willing to just kind of chip away, death by 1,000 cuts on this robot. Because, I mean, look, you swing that knife around enough, you're going to break through the chassis eventually, right? And we're seeing that now, even though this Rob is getting licks in every now and then, but it's almost always at the expense of its personal safety. And Jakal is trying to put the Rob in as much of an untenable situation as possible, divert him away from using those buttons to begin with.
Yeah.
And as a result, you're seeing very efficient first stocks, such as this, only suffering 20 percentage points worth of damage.
Yeah, like you said, not giving Conman a single second to breathe, just going 0 to 60 in the first couple seconds of the round, establishing that ground game and establishing that combo game that Jokers are just world renowned for at this time, and that's why we're seeing Jakal. You know, he's sort of playing back and forth with that, resorting to defensive, hybrid defensive play style to on the other side of things, just going full throttle offensive onslaught. But speaking of onslaughts there, yeah, when you got Rob, you have all the time in the world to pressure your opponent off stage, and without Arsene, he was just left with the tether to get back. So
tried to get cute with the Rebels guard there too, but Conman was there to take full advantage. And now you're seeing that up tilt just tack on a little bit more. Conman is sitting at 135. It makes you wonder just what else Conman can bring to the table, because it feels like maybe Jakal has seen everything that he possibly could from this Rob. As good as Conman is, at the end of the day, it's still Rob play. You know, you feel like you've seen one of them, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
But this is, like, you've faced more fearsome Robs than this. Is it really Jakal trying to subject himself to a potential Game 5 because of trying to get better with this Joker?
I mean, he certainly seems to be okay with the Joker enough to potentially at least win this round. So, I mean, if he wants to get experimental, he certainly seems all right to do it.
He's earned the right.
Yes.
No one's saying he hasn't.
But, I mean...
Man, pulling it out in Winners Final and then going forward with it.
Yeah, I mean, it just... The name of the game, it comes down to resiliency. Like, the way that we saw Conman force Jakal to that Game 4 in Winners Finals, to force him to go back to his main, is just something that he needs to keep up, not only throughout the bracket, but just in the doers,
in the high pressure situation.
Yeah, I mean, and in Grand Finals no less. Like, if he's doing what he did in Winners Finals in Grand Finals, and now you don't have an answer to it, it seems like you're in like more dire straits than one would like to be. So Conman just, you know, he needs to be revitalized in some form. Otherwise, you know, Jakal just seems poised to take it all tonight. So
I think Conman really does need to remember, because did well to get to Game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. But like,
incredibly so.
Has that been expended for him tonight? At least in terms of internally, like, because like he was able to do Winners Finals, but we're not seeing the same Conman here. At least because of how Jakal is doing in this set here. And well, I'm like, wait!
Wait a second. Okay, still getting tagged a little bit from the aftermath of Aegon.
Gift horses and mouths.
You never know. Like, it's Rob. You can cheese this thing.
Yeah.
You are so not done yet.
I mean, yeah, combo and with rage, combo will carry out either left or right side, but that was...
Okay, now you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. But it was going to take a straight hit like that to begin with on the shortest ceiling in the competitive rule set.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So now Jakal is up 2-1.
Yeah.
And you got to think it's going to be comfortable going into this Game 4 picking the same character. But then again, we said that about Winners Final, and Conman won that too.
I think the answer that Conman is looking for is that obviously he needs to establish the pressure early on, but enough to carry Jakal off to the left or right side of the stage, because an early or fresh rather Joker is not going to have Arsene, so they're limited to the very stringent up B recovery. And if you're left against a Rob that is chasing you off the left or right side of the stage without Arsene, and with a full Rebels guard to charge that you don't get Arsene while you're out there, you're looking down the sights of a gun there, and not Joker's own. So.
Then again, you're not exactly complaining about having the tether.
Right. I mean, I'm looking for the one respect that maybe Conman can find his way back here, because the limited up B, yeah, well, down spikes definitely want to do it as well. But again, the limited recovery of Joker without Arsene is something that Rob can definitely take advantage of the way the multi-hit side B can just, you know, if they're not sure when they're going to throw out or where they are, maybe because of magnifying glass, you might be able to cover it with side B. Or maybe the explosiveness of the hit of down air will be able to cover their approach from ledge with it. It's just, you know, I'm just trying to find where Conman establishes his ground against Jakal right now, because with the speed of Joker compared to his Wolf, he's going to have a lot more ground to cover, and Conman's going to have a lot more difficulty pegging down that Joker in that regard.
Gotta say, it might just be the difference that Rob doesn't necessarily need Arsene in order to get kills. That could just be the difference. If you're able to limit the amount of meter that Jakal is able to get, as survivable as this Joker has looked, your win condition might just be laming him out and maybe scoring a victory that way, because all you're doing right now is eating these nairs that are being spammed at ledge. And I mean, it's Jakal having a field day. You're up 3 stocks to 2, and you have a little bit of an advantage as we go to 2 stocks apiece. It's a matter of how do you maintain that. I think it has to be slow and steady. And what did we talk about? What lost him that Game 5 against the Wolf? A little bit of patience. And just like that, you get a little bit of a flair for the spectacular.
Ooh.
You take that, and that's how you build upon it and get yourself to the Game 5.
Yeah, and he needs those strings to, like, convince himself that this is not over yet, because, you know, number 30 in the world, obviously you're thinking, like, you know, you can't have that defeatist nature going into it. And, I mean, especially in grand finals of all things, you have to, again, like you said, it's that ability to have the marathon mentality going forward with respect to gameplay, in terms of character matchup, and in terms of the player matchup. Like,
you're not trying to win battles, you're trying to win the war.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It took a while for Jakal to try and build up that proper mentality to get him to being globally ranked, to get him to the heights where he now sits today. But then again, it's he's always had the talent, he's always had the will to do better. But it has always been so needlessly hard on himself in so many ways that just couldn't really make he couldn't break through that hole. Couldn't really break through that glass ceiling until he was able to really exercise the patience that he put into the game with himself.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing that, you know, really a lot of potential realized. And this guy who's many considered to be the best Wolf in the world, though obviously there's debate, picking up the Joker and about to potentially take a codename Bairs, a regular Bairs, whatever it might be called. No matter what it's been called, he's been successful at every single iteration of this tournament. It doesn't matter the name. What matters is the game. Conman, though, goodness me, the comeback story that we've had. That's 2 Game 4s against this Joker.
Yes, sir.
That he has won. Back against the wall, he's showing up for it.
I mean, when you're talking about backs against the wall, though, you don't want to be facing down a Wolf, because, like, there is a saying, you don't want to put a Wolf in a corner. But we're not seeing the Wolf, surprisingly.
Right.
I mean, like, he has a reset round, and, like, I hate you, Jakal, if you're going to force that reset round upon us by going Joker here.
Yeah, honestly, dude. Yeah, Jude and I are about to have a talk.
He is playing.
I think Bryce might actually punch him in the face.
He is playing that long game. Like, he's absolutely doing.
Bryce, put the chair down.
He is doing what he needs to in order to more assuredly close the win for himself. Like, he's exhausting Conman. Like, as we were alluding to before, like, Conman is fresh to this at least grand finals, maybe even I'm sorry, he's not, but he's not. He's not
against this quality of competition.
Yes, exactly.
Like, maybe you're a little bit out of your depth, but you got there in the first place. You're swimming with the sharks. Can you survive?
Yeah, you're swimming with the sharks. That's been your home, but now you're in a whole new environment, and so, like, you have to adapt to that environment, and you have to have the progression of that adaptation. You have to carry that throughout basically your entire, I'll say life, but I'm boiling it down to your bracket life here. And again, Jakal's just more used to it. He's allowed, even though we're here for a later amount of time, he's allowed to go in the reset round just to make Conman mentally exhausted in order to get a more easier win in the long run. Like,
it's almost like working the count against the pitcher to try to
exactly. Yeah.
Try to draw walks, hit off foul balls, just make him exhaust the arm. Makes you wonder, and that's the thing with Conman. You know, obviously, very talented player. Obviously, has won a Codename Bairs before, and has beaten pretty quality opposition in PR wins. Okay. But you're talking about a globally ranked player, and no matter how efficient, oh man, that's 2 stocks apiece though. It makes you wonder. No matter how efficient a machine you are, you can run out of gas eventually. It's a matter of what Conman has inside of him, how willing you are to go the distance. And if you can win this game number 5, goodness me, that is something to write home about for this young man.
I mean, we're trying to push the hybrid or the electric push right now, so maybe Rob has another energy source within him, and he might give that the way of Conman because he has established that foothold. I mean, he had Arsene off that left side, and he was still challenging enough to use that multi-hit side B, knowing that he expended his jump, and he wasn't going to go for any sort of Aegon trickery for him to use the up B after the fact. He just went with the full multi-hit and made the no-tech option available there. It was the red shockwave, so that was an assured stock claim for Conman. And again, we're talking about just vitality and just carrying it through. You have to have that preservation through it. And right now, Conman's just finding new ways to revitalize himself mentally. And I mean, gyro again. We saw him use the down air trap with the gyro, and now a bounce back with laser hit into it. Oh my!
Oh no!
Look, shades of Yoda Cage's Mecha Koopa with that hit, and now we could see we have a palpable reset round in our hands.
Hang on though, this is Rob at 163. We have to. If that Rob finds himself on a platform, it's basically 1 stock.
Yes, but I mean, if Rob finds a combo like we're about to see here, I mean, he is pushing a little too much though.
That's the whole thing with how we lost that game 5, and I know it was against the Wolf. It doesn't matter. You do that against a player who is as judicious with the hitboxes as Jakal can be. He's going to chop your head off no matter how short that dagger might be. It's Jakal, it's Conman, it's 1 stock apiece.
We're going to see here Gyro sort of being the marker in a tug-of-war game. Both of them charging ahead after it now. And Conman backpedaling the right side. Jakal just defiant pressure and presence of the character alone will make the traction pad of Rob just fall back here. And now Conman resorting to ledge. 84 damage accrued and piling. You have to wonder if enough is all said and done. Have both of those energy reserves been depleted for the Rob? Another combo, and again, if he leads off to that left side, and if he can snuff out the Joker before Arsene shows up, we could see the swing away of Conman, but it is just the shades of it are just falling away to the light that is Jakal's brilliance right now as he's potentially winning here.
At 149, Jakal tagging him with the side B, and again, more damage, but looking for the up smash. Conman,
he has to land. Careful. Okay, yeah.
Looking for it, seeing it play out before our eyes, and Jakal tell you all the story about the Joker and the Thief in the Night. And as Friday turns to Saturday, Jakal turns his Joker into a regular Bairs winner.
I mean, yeah, that was just so close. And again, that longevity, that frame of mind that you have to have